I am still thrilled to live in a community which is willing to step a few yards away from itself every now and then in a sincere attempt to figure out where it is on the roadmap for now, and then take a pause before moving ahead in any direction. From an article titled Spirit of Place from a website, placesconsulting.org, comes this quote. In Roman mythology, natural places were thought to be inhabited by a residing spirit, the genius loci. We define the spirit of place as the emotional connection that people have made to the place, based on the distinctive qualities of landscape, cultures, and built environment. It is people who infuse a place with a unique spirit. When people feel richly connected to the places where they live, work, and play, they will invest more of themselves. They will participate in civic life, engage in issues that shape the future, and the connection of a people to a place. It is a form of social capital which is perhaps the single most important factor in whether a real community exists in a place. As an aside, I wonder if we are doing our best in giving people a chance to feel richly connected to the place in which they live, work, and play. If not, we're all losing out. And back to the quote. To have healthy places, we must find ways to keep alive what is distinctive and emotionally compelling there, which begins with understanding first what those things are. Some of our most outstanding and appealing products in harvest, those that we reap and sell, are clean air, quiet places, arts and culture, our history, and most important to me, character of place. We literally make money on character of place. We must continue to maintain, respect, bolster, and protect our unique character. It pays in more ways than one for us to fiercely protect both the goose and the golden egg. The Aspen Area Master Plan of 2000, which was the update of our first character-based master plan in 1993, states that it contains, in quotes, recommendations on economic sustainability that endeavor to make our community better without getting bigger. I wonder how we're living up to this. It is by preserving, maintaining, and growing character, and by ongoing building of an engaged community, that we may be able to accomplish this getting better without getting bigger. I can see no other feasible way. In envisioning our future development, I believe that we must strengthen in no uncertain way our past community commitment of requiring that growth pay its own way. Now, perhaps more than ever, we need assurance that the costs of growth are borne with accurate and true accounting by the development entity. This will require that our community reassess in the most rigorous way how we measure the up-to-date real cost to the community of development. Of utmost importance, now that climate change costs must be borne by the developer, whether private or public. This is one of the ways we can be assured that development which occurs provides a full community benefit instead of becoming a community health burden or an economic burden. I believe future development should occur within the urban growth boundary established in an earlier Aspen Area Master Plan. Since we have now documented that the larger the square footage of a residential structure, the more intense its needs are for service, it is time to revisit the idea of house size. The need to revisit house size the house size question is informed by current realities of community balance, local affordable housing needs, climate change, and what we believe is essential for the healthy well-being of people who live here and people who are essential for our vitality. Pacing of development remains as important as ever. This community has agreed, evidenced by those we elect, that the boom-bust way of growing is not for us, and we know why it is unhealthy. No one wins, and communities never remain healthy when trapped in those cycles. Further, a measured pace of development allows us wiggle room in which to respond to unintended consequences. I hope that in 30 years this will be a community of largely local workers who can live in the same community in which they work, vote in the same community in which they work, feel fully valued and fully included. I envision a place where local people can afford to buy underwear and food. I hope we will have found ways to encourage more locally owned businesses. This is the prime way we will be able to keep local dollars multiplying and circulating rather than being sent out to people, companies, and corporations we will never meet or know. A few questions that have come to mind are, now that the pandemic has come on stage, has our thinking changed about who we rely on most for our well-being? Are we taking care of community members in ways that are fair and just and kind? And could we do it better? In commencing a broader and more comprehensive look at growth in Pitkin County, can we learn to ask the question, who benefits? Who pays? In fact, I wonder if we could learn to examine all decisions in this way. Perhaps the most important of all to me is that we need to decide when to stop growing in size. We must finally ask the question of how many people our natural and man-made resources can support. What can we tolerate in terms of numbers of people, effects on healthcare services, law enforcement, crowding, traffic, and change to the climate? Do we have the fortitude to say when enough is enough? We have recently taken stock of our needs at the airport. I think it would be wise to plug that planning into a larger planning growth puzzle now and imagine and plan for the results of that development. In pondering the questions we are being asked about growth, pacing, the rate of growth, and types of growth, and the ways of climate change and the ways climate change challenges us to reconsider our responsibilities to our community and our world, I believe it's time for a comprehensive examination and update of the Aspen Area Master Plan. Thank you, Board of County Commissioners, for allowing us this opportunity to think about these important questions.